So here's a question that might seem obvious at first. Is all loss basically the same? Your goldfish dies, your parent dies, you lose your job, you lose your faith. They all hurt, right? Just different scales of the same thing? Not exactly. I'm Quinn, and for the past 20 years, I've been researching what makes people resilient, what helps us navigate loss and rebuild on the other side. And what I've discovered is that not all losses are created equal. Some losses are structurally more complicated than others. Today, I want to show you the different dimensions of loss, and then zoom into one type of loss that hits almost every complicating factor at once, leaving your religion. Let's talk about the dimensions of loss. When we experience loss, we're actually dealing with multiple overlapping dimensions. Let me walk you through 5 of the big ones. First, the reversibility spectrum. Some losses are permanent. Your grandmother dies. She's not coming back. That's irreversible. But you lose your job? That's potentially reversible. You can find another job. You can even get that job back sometimes. Then there are losses that exist in this weird middle ground. A major estrangement from a family member, is that reversible? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe partially. The ambiguity itself becomes part of what you're grieving. Second dimension of loss is the clarity spectrum. Some losses are crystal clear. Your house burns down. There's literally a pile of ashes where your home used to be. You know exactly what you lost. Other losses are muddy. Think about someone with dementia. They're still physically present, but psychologically, they're disappearing. You're grieving them while they're still alive. When do you start? When do you stop? The third dimension of loss is the agency spectrum. Some losses are imposed on you. A drunk driver kills someone you love. A hurricane destroys your business. You had zero control. Other losses involve your choices. You end a toxic relationship. You quit a soul-crushing job. You chose the outcome, but you're still losing something real. And here's what makes that complicated. When you chose it, people think you're not allowed to grieve it. You wanted this. Yeah, but wanting something better doesn't mean the loss doesn't hurt. The fourth dimension of loss is social recognition. When someone dies, society has rituals, funerals, memorial services, sympathy cards. People bring you casseroles and say, "I'm so sorry for your loss." But when you leave a toxic job, get a divorce, lose a pregnancy, come out and lose your conservative family, society doesn't always know what to do with that. There's no greeting card section for "Congratulations on escaping your emotionally abusive marriage. Sorry you lost 15 years and your mutual friends." Researcher Kenneth Doka calls this disenfranchised grief, grief that society doesn't validate or acknowledge. The fifth dimension of loss is identity impact. Some losses affect your circumstances, but not your sense of self. Your car gets totaled. That sucks, but you're still you. Other losses demolish your identity. An athlete becomes paralyzed. A professor develops early-onset dementia. A believer loses their faith. These aren't just external losses. They're who you thought you were losses. Now here's why this matters. Most losses hit 1, maybe 2 of these dimensions hard. Your goldfish dies, irreversible but low identity impact, socially recognized, sort of, and clear. You get laid off, reversible, clear, some identity impact, partial social recognition. But some losses hit all 5 dimensions in their most complicated form simultaneously. And that brings us to leaving your religion. Why religious exit is uniquely complex. Let me show you what happens when someone exits a high-demand religious system. On the reversibility spectrum, you can technically go back, which means you never have the finality that comes with irreversible loss. People keep telling you it's not too late to return. The door is always open, but psychologically, you can't unknow what you now know, so it exists in this torturous middle space, technically reversible but practically permanent. On the clarity spectrum, this is maximum ambiguity. The religion was both the best and worst thing in your life. It gave you community, purpose, moral framework, and it controlled you, shamed you, maybe even traumatized you. You're grieving and celebrating simultaneously. You lost something precious that was also poison. On the agency spectrum, you chose to leave, which means you blame yourself. I should have seen this sooner. How could I have believed that? I wasted so many years. But you were also manipulated, which means you didn't fully choose to join or stay. So now you're stuck between self-blame and victimhood, and neither frame quite fits. On the social recognition scale, total disenfranchisement. Half the people in your life think you're liberated and don't understand why you're sad. The other half thinks you've made the worst decision of your life and you're going to hell. Nobody's bringing you casseroles. There's no cultural script for this grief. On the identity impact scale, catastrophic. You didn't just lose a belief system. You lost your community, often your only social network, your purpose, your mission, your calling, your moral framework, how you determine right from wrong, your epistemology, how you know what's true, your relationships. People who stay in the system often cut you off. Your past, reinterpreting decades of your life, your future. All your plans were built on a foundation that crumbled. You're not rebuilding a part of your life. You're rebuilding reality itself. But here's what makes this especially cruel. The very tools you need to heal were given to you by the system that hurt you. Think about it. That religion taught you how to process emotions, probably by suppressing them, how to make decisions, defer to authority, distrust yourself, how to evaluate information, trust the leaders, distrust outsiders, how to build relationships within approved parameters only, how to define success by metrics that no longer apply. Now you need to heal. But your emotional toolkit, your decision-making framework, your trust calibration, your relationship skills, all of it is suspect. All of it might be part of the problem. Okay, a religion exit is complicated, but what can we do? Here's a summary of the key skills, decisions, and daily practices that can help orient you in an intense and often confusing situation of a religious exit. Look, leaving a fundamentalist religion isn't like canceling a gym membership. It's more like trying to exit a building where every door you open reveals another hallway, and half the people you know are standing in those hallways asking, "Where do you think you're going?" So let's talk about 5 core skills that can help you navigate this. Skill 1. Acknowledge. Name what's happening without turning it into a catastrophe novel. I'm questioning my faith is acknowledgement. I'm a terrible person who's destroying my family, and going to hell is a story you're layering on top. When you're leaving a high-control religion, your brain will want to create narratives, usually terrifying ones. Practice saying just the facts. I no longer believe X. My values have changed. I need space to figure this out. Full stop. No dramatic soundtrack required. Skill 2. Intention. Ask yourself, what do I actually value here? What matters most to me right now? Maybe it's authenticity. Maybe it's protecting your kids from the same system. Maybe it's simply having Sunday mornings back. There's no wrong answer, but you need to know your answer, because when things get messy, and they will, your intentions are your compass. Not your mother's intentions, not your pastor's intentions. Yours. Skill 3. Focus. This one's huge. You can only control where you place your attention. You cannot control whether your family accepts your decision. You cannot control what the congregation says about you. You cannot control whether your spouse stays or leaves. But you can control whether you answer that guilt trip text right now or wait until tomorrow, whether you attend that family dinner, whether you spend your energy defending yourself or building your new life. Focus on what's actually in your hands. Skill 4. Frames. Choose how you see your situation. Are you falling away or growing towards something? Are you losing your faith or finding your integrity? The religion taught you specific frames. Most of them involve shame, loss, and eternal consequences. You get to pick new frames now. Frame check yourself regularly. Is this frame helping me move forward, or is it the old system still running scripts in my head? Skill 5. Movement. Small choices create habits. Habits create your life. You're not going to rebuild your entire worldview by next Tuesday, but you can. Read one chapter of that book that was forbidden. Have one honest conversation with a trusted friend outside the system. Skip one church event without apologizing. Small movements. They add up faster than you think. Now, let's talk about 5 key decisions that successful exiters make. Decision 1. Focus on what you directly control. Release the rest. I know, I already said this, but it bears repeating because religious systems train you to believe you're responsible for everything. Other people's faith, the state of the church, your family's salvation, God's reputation. You're not. Release that weight. Decision 2. Find your purpose. What's your most valued intention in this situation? Not in your whole life, just in this exit process. Is it to maintain a relationship with your kids while being honest? Is it to extract yourself with minimum damage? Is it to be a quiet example for others who are questioning? Name it. Write it down. Return to it when you're lost. Decision 3. Connect wisely. Support plus boundaries. Both, not one or the other. Find people who've walked this path. Join an exit support group, but also set boundaries with people who aren't safe yet. Your college roommate who just wants to talk you back to Jesus is not safe. Your therapist who specializes in religious trauma is. Support plus boundaries. Tattoo it backwards on your forehead if you need to. Decision 4. Manage momentum. Small actions become habits. One conversation becomes a pattern. One boundary becomes a practice. Don't try to exit in one explosive conversation. Build momentum through small, consistent choices that align with your values. Let the momentum carry you when willpower runs out. Decision 5. Grow and adjust. Adopt a learning mindset. This is going to be messy. You will make mistakes. You will overcorrect. You will set a boundary too harshly, then backslide into people-pleasing. That's not failure. That's learning. Adjust as you go. Finally, 5 daily practices that will keep you sane. Practice. 1. Emotional regulation. Your emotions are going to be all over the map. Grief, rage, relief, guilt, freedom, terror, sometimes before breakfast. Find what helps you regulate. Breathe, move, journal, cry in your car, punch a pillow. Do it daily. Your nervous system has been in fight or flight for years. It needs training wheels for calm. Practice 2. Acceptance. This is what it is, not what you wish it was, not what it should be, what it is. Your family may reject you. You may lose friends. Your marriage may not survive. Or, plot twist, everyone might surprise you. Either way, acceptance doesn't mean you like it. It means you stop arguing with reality long enough to deal with it. Practice. 3. Intention clarification. Every morning, what matters most today? Not next year, not in your ideal future. Today. Then make choices that honor that. Practice. 4. Routine. Master small habits. This is straight from my book, Build Small Habits, and it's never more important than during major life transitions. When your world is chaos, routine is sanity. Same wake time, same morning coffee ritual, same evening walk, small, non-negotiable anchors. Practice 5. Self-compassion. You are doing something incredibly difficult. You are dismantling a worldview while still living inside the consequences of it. Be as kind to yourself as you would be to your best friend going through the same thing. Maybe kinder. Here's the truth. Leaving a fundamentalist religion is one of the most complex transitions a human can make. You're not just changing beliefs. You're rewiring your identity, your relationships, your understanding of reality itself. But you're not the first person to walk this path. And these skills, decisions, and practices, they're not theoretical. They're tested. They work. Take what resonates. Ignore what doesn't. Adjust as you go. You've got this, even when it doesn't feel like it, especially then.